had a purpose. I wanted to be one of the best basketball players to ever play. And anything else that was outside of that lane, I didn't have time for.
At what age did that goal become crystal clear?
I made that deal with myself at 13 years old.
At 13 years old?
13 years old. That's the
you
deal
were
I made.
crystal clear about it?
Crystal clear.
You're up 2-0. What's the story? Are you not happy, or you're only half happy, or?
Still to be happy about.
You're up 2-0.
Job's not finished. Job finished? I don't think so.
No sleep.
You played a game with zero sleep.
Zero sleep. Zero sleep.
So many guys tell stories about your work ethic.
Yeah.
What was really your work ethic like, and for how long did you stay disciplined?
Well, I mean, every day. I mean, since, for 20 years. I didn't feel good about myself if I wasn't doing everything I could to be the best version of myself. Mm-hmm. If I felt like I left anything on the table, it would eat away at me. I wouldn't be able to look myself in the mirror. Right? So the reason why I can retire now and be completely comfortable about it, because I know that I've done everything I could to be the best basketball player I could be. Mm-hmm. And so that's where it comes from for me. You can't leave any stone unturned. Rest at the end, not in the middle. And that's something I always live by. I'm not going to rest. I'm going to keep on pushing now. There are a lot of answers that I don't have, even questions that I don't have. But I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep going, and I'll figure these things out as we go, right? And you just continue to build that way.
Kobe Bryant! Buckle up for Kobe Bryant! Kobe Bryant!
And so, like, the consistency of work, Monday, get better. Tuesday, get better. Wednesday, get better, right? And you do that over a period of time, not like 1 month or 2 months. I mean, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and then you can get to where you want to go. There'll be times where you succeed, and there are times that you fail. So wasting your time doubting whether you're going to be successful or not is pointless. It is. I mean, you just put one foot in front of the other, you control what you can't control, and then you see what the outcome is. Right? If you win, great. You're going to have to wake up the next day and do the journey over again. If you lose, it sucks, but you're going to have to wake up the next day and do the journey all over again anyway. Right? So it's really pointless to sit here and debate or have doubt or this, that, and the other. You train as hard as you can, and you step out there and you let it flow. You want to train as much as you can, as often as you can. So if you get up at 10 in the morning, train at 11, right? 12, say 12, train at 12, train for 2 hours, 12 to 2. You have to let your body recover. So you eat, recover, whatever. You get back out, you train, start training again at 6. Train from 6 to 8, right? And now you go home, you shower, you eat dinner, you go to bed, you wake up, you do it again, right? Those are 2 sessions. Right? Now imagine you wake up at 3, you train at 4. You go 4 to 6, come home, breakfast, relax, blah, blah, blah. Now you're back at it again, 9 to 11, right? You relax, and now all of a sudden you're back at it again, 2 to 4, and now you're back at it again, 7 to 9. Look how much more training I have done by simply starting at 4, right? And so now you do that, and as the years go on, the separation that you have with your competitors and your peers just grows larger and larger and larger and larger and larger. And by year 5 or 6, doesn't matter what kind of work they do in the summer, they're never going to catch up because they're 5 years behind. Right? So it makes sense to get up and start your day early because you can get more work in.
How much do you detest a lack of hard work and despise lazy?
It drives me crazy. I don't understand it, but at the same time, I talk to my kids about hard work and stuff. And, you can either be the lion or you can be the gazelle. Nature needs both. Right? So you got to have hardworking people. You have to have lazy people. It's the balance of all things, right? So I'd much rather you be the lion. But if you want to be the gazelle, honey, be the fastest gazelle in the world, But if you're lazy, man, I don't want to talk to you. I won't deal with you. You don't make me feel dumber. The Mamba mentality simply means trying to be the best version of yourself. That's what the mentality means. It means every day, you're trying to become better. And it's a constant quest. It's an infinite quest. So starting at the age of 2, when I first started playing the game, and on and on and on. I always ask questions. I always try to get better every single day. Emotionally, to be able to put myself in a place where at practice or when I'm training or during games, I switch my mind to something else. I switch my mode into something else, right? For me, it's the equivalent of Maximus Decimus Meridius in Gladiator picking up the dirt, smelling the dirt. It's go time. I think the best way to prove your value is to work, is to learn, is to absorb, to be a sponge. But you always want to outwork your potential. As hard as you believe you can work harder than that. And that's what I tried to do when I first came in the league. But basketball is such a direct competition sport that me coming in at 17, I hated when my teammates would say, I get hit with an elbow, right? Shaq would hit me with an elbow in practice, and Nick Van Exel would come up and say, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Motherfucker, what? Mao, are you okay? What the hell's wrong with you?" So I always had that extra chip on my shoulder. So every day in practice for me was really trying to annihilate everybody that I was playing against, because I wanted to prove you don't need to babysit me. By that time, I was really, really good at taking negative things and just refocusing them, right? So it didn't linger. It didn't. I used those things to help me get up at 4 a.m. and hit the track, and then hit the weights, and then get the shots. I use that as a source of motivation for me. So no matter what's said, be it positive or be it negative, when you have the point of view that no matter what is said, it's going to do nothing but fuel my passion, then you really, there's nothing anybody can say that's really going to take you backwards. You know what I mean? Because you just use it all. So. Yeah, well, creativity isn't everything, even in consistent, what I found is creativity a lot of time comes from structure.
I agree. I'm so glad you said that.
You have those parameters and the structure, then within that you can be creative. But if you don't have the structure, you're just aimlessly doing stuff.
Yes.
Where are you going? So having a clear structure of understanding, okay, this morning I'm going to, when I was writing a Wizard Art series and outlining Legacy, I come in the morning, 7 a.m., and I'm there. I'm writing backstory from 7 to 12. Then I go pick up my kids, and then I come right back and I'm writing again. So within that structure, my mind when I go to sleep is already planning of what the next day is going to be, because I know, what it is I have to do. It's that consistency and structure.
Yeah.
In terms of giving me stability and giving me confidence to say, okay, it's okay to fail because you're going to be loved no matter what. And that doesn't just mean basketball. That means anything in life. That means writing. That means being an entrepreneur. That means having the confidence to go for it. And I've seen too many parents do the exact opposite. And it terrifies children. And children become paralyzed by their own fear because they don't have that security blanket of love and comfort.
Yeah.
What I try to do is just try to be still and understand that things come and go. Emotions come and go. The important thing is to accept them all, to embrace them all, and then you can choose to do with them what you want versus being controlled by emotion. A lot of times I've seen players, even myself, when I was younger, being consumed by a particular fear, and to the point where you're saying, okay, it's not good to feel fear. I shouldn't be nervous in a situation like that. And it does nothing but grow. Versus stepping back and saying, yeah, I am nervous about the situation. Yeah, I am fearful about the situation. Well, what am I afraid of? And then you kind of unpack it. And then it gives you the ability to look at it for really what it is, which is nothing more than your imagination running its course, As a kid, I was growing up and saying, I want to be the greatest that ever played, right? And then as you get older, you start understanding that there's no real answer to that, right? And I found a lot of comfort once I realized that my goal really is to be the best player I can be. And then what that means helping my teammates be the best players that they can be. And once I figured that out, then my game went to another level.
When did you figure that out, and how did you figure that out? What was the transformation?
Trial and error. It was a process. You keep banging your head into a wall. Eventually you're going to try to
look for the door and the key, you know, and so that's what I had to do. And it was a lot of research for me, it was a lot of reading, it was a lot of studying, it was a lot of listening and try to really figure out what makes people tick and how do you motivate your teammates. I mean, it's one thing to say, do this, do that, but how do you really motivate them to the point where they feel, where they're the ones asking the questions of how to improve themselves? Like, how do you flip the switch, help somebody flip the switch within themselves to want to reach their full potential? And that's really the dance. I made a conscious choice to go after my passion obsessively. Like, it's a conscious decision. So it's not like, you know, you missed out on that, you missed out on that. Like, no, I made a choice to consciously miss out on those things because I'd much rather be here.
It's more about the sacrifice, I guess, is the question.
But that's my point. It's not a sacrifice to me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's not a sacrifice. Like, this is my choice. Like, I'd rather do this. Like, if you put a bowl of ice cream in front of the kid and a plate of broccoli, the kid's probably gonna eat the ice cream, right? And so to me, the game is the ice cream. It was an everyday process and trying to figure out strengths and weaknesses. For example, jumping ability. Now, my vertical was a 40, it wasn't a 46 or a 45. My hands are big, but they're not massive, right? So you got to figure out ways to strengthen them so your hands are strong enough to be able to palm a ball and do the things that you need to do. Quickness, I was quick, but not insanely quick. I was fast, but not ridiculously fast, right? So I had to rely on skill a lot more. I had to rely on angles a lot more. I had to study the game a lot more. And but I enjoyed it though. So like from the time I can remember when I started watching the game, I studied the game, and it just never changed. You know, you have to sit and ask yourself, what is truly going to get you up in the morning? What's going to keep you up at night? And when you find what that answer is, you stay true to that. You know, I've built a brand for the last 20-something years, personal brand, which is great. But that is not where our focus is going to be for the next 50 years. It's what we are doing now. Are we taking a big risk? Yeah, but I think that if we focus on one thing and do that one thing exceptionally well, you won't fail at that one thing. So sometimes you got to put the other stuff to bed and focus on what you believe is the core of the company, and that always starts from what you love to do the most.